Hey everyone, welcome to another exciting episode of 7 Minute Scaling Secrets, where we interview entrepreneurs and learn a secret on how they scaled up their businesses. Today, we have a special guest, Preston Sin, who is a men's transformation coach. Preston, why don't you tell us and the audience, what is it that you do? What is a men's transformation coach? This episode was brought to you by Superscaling. Join the foundation program today and learn how you can systemize and superscale your business so that you can get $100,000 a month at least with a productive team from all over the world, raving fans as clients, and happy founders who have true freedom. Visit superscaling.com/foundation today. And now back to the episode.
Awesome, Melvin. Thank you so much for having me here. So basically what I do is I coach elite entrepreneurs, speakers, and other elite professionals to really take back control of their health, fitness, and ultimately their lives so that they can look, feel, and even be powerful again.
Is that personal training?
So a lot of times, there will be some spillover, some, combinations with that. But what I do is more than personal training because I don't just go to the gym with a client or go and train them at their house, but more so I help them to really achieve the transformation that they want by coaching them through the process. So I don't just teach them about exercises, count reps for them, make sure they are safe, but rather I really help them to get results. So that's what I do.
How is that different from personal training then? I took personal training before also. The personal trainer did all of that. He also was very helpful with moving my weights, setting up the equipment. But how would what you do be different from that?
That's a great question. And I think that in the early parts of my career, I used to focus a lot more on personal training. And what happens is this, I did exactly what you just said as well. Help clients, message clients, tell them a little bit about nutrition. But what happens is that clients actually don't get the most value from me because I actually do more than just helping them to exercise, correcting their form, maybe sharing them a few tips here and there. But because what happens is this, right? When you do personal training, great. They're 1 hour, 2 hours, solid. You get a solid session at trainer. But what happens is this, the next 23 hours, next 22 hours, you're left on your own. And that is when a lot of things crumbles for a lot of professionals out there. You have kids, you've got work, you've got stress. How do you manage that? Right? What should you do with your nutrition? It's not about just eating less, moving more. It's not about just dieting on chicken breast and broccoli. There's more than meets the eye, right? Yeah. So what happens is that when some clients actually go on a long extended vacation, bye-bye, their gains go away, their fat comes back. So I was like, damn, this can't happen. As a coach, I want to be able to bring out the best in them and help them to sustain their results. So what I do is more than the personal training aspect in the gym or outside the gym or whatever, but it's more so by helping them to master the skills necessary for the other 23 hours, for times when they have a vacation, for times when they go out for a client meal, drinks or whatever. That's what I do basically.
Oh man, I love that. I think I draw a lot of parallels from what you say and what you do to even the 5E scale engine and what I do with super scaling, because scaling our business, it's literally just like going to the gym, right? You can do the work there, but there's so much more that's happening behind the scenes, right? You've got to identify the problems. What is your behavior? What are your limiting beliefs, right? In the first place, are you even thinking like an 8-figure entrepreneur if you want to be an 8-figure business, right? All these things I think like are similar when we look at people and their fitness. I think a very common aspiration for people to have is to have abs, right? And having abs is not literally just doing sit-ups all day long, right? There's so much more that's got to do with it. Even if you starve yourself and you get so skinny that you basically can see all your muscles, I don't think that's a very good look also, and I don't think that's what people want when they say they want abs. So it's a combination of all these factors that I think is essential. And what you're saying is that, I can start to see where the transformation comes in really, because it's not just that 1 hour in the gym. It's really like understanding the psyche, the behavior, the methodology that people have as people behind the scenes. That's cool. But how do you identify, like, say, a gap? How do you identify beliefs that are wrong? When you talk to a client, right? Everybody is different. People, some of them can be family people, some of them could be, maybe bachelors, and all their lives are very, very different. how do you know what's wrong? What's the gap?
That's awesome question, Alvin. So basically, right, it's all about understanding the principles, right? Because when you understand the fundamentals, it's all about piecing it together for the individual already. It's like today you have a puzzle box, right? You got the pieces of the puzzle. Sure, to the layman, it might seem like, wow, everything's so complicated. But once you understand what's the big picture, you're more or less able to piece them together. So I think that's where experience, expertise, and years of coaching so many different people, you kind of get the sense of what to do. And most important is about meeting people where they're at. It's not about having a perfect plan, right? So like what you said, everybody's context is very different, right? We've got entrepreneurs, we've got bachelors, we've got, dads, we've got family men. So it's about allowing them to go for what's easiest for them at the start. Or as a coach, you need to have a rough framework, a rough skeleton, so that eventually, you can just fill up the gaps so that you can get them to where they want to go. Right. So I think that also brings in it's also quite in tangent together with having a perfect plan. The perfect plan doesn't really exist, Yeah.
No, it does not. Never. Yeah. But like I know how to do that in super scaling and scaling up businesses. How do you do that for your clients? How do you not have them work on a perfect plan, and how do you give them the ability to take care of things when problems happen and the plan basically doesn't go to plan?
That's great, man. So I think that the people that I coach are a lot of them are elite professionals, right? So they tend to be the kind that prioritize their work and then their family and then themselves. I mean, it's always easy to take care of something else rather than ourselves, right? So where I come in is very simple. I actually help them to create simple systems in their life so that they can continue to take care of the key fundamentals of transformation, so that they can actually, lose that weight, lose that fat, gain the vitality, energy that they want. Whether they want to get abs also is another thing. All right. So it's all about helping them to take care of the 23 hours, right? Or even their whole day, especially when things gets busy. So one very important thing that I do with my clients is actually integration of habits, right?
Okay.
It's not like, for example, one thing that I just shared recently with my client as well is on the habit of picking up their calls while pacing, right? There isn't a need to do all your work on the computer, to be very frank, right? There are some work that you can do on your iPad, right? There are some work that you can do on your phone. There are some administrative stuff that requires you to call people, text people. Imagine this, you are just pacing around the house. That could help you to get 100 steps in, 1,000 over steps in, or even let's say, one thing that I personally like to do, I like to do my work while walking around at the park. Okay, that allows me to maintain my level of fitness, my level of activity, and still maximizing my productivity. So it doesn't need to be taking out time or additional time just so they can be fit. It's about maximizing your hours in the day to get the most amount of results. So just something simple that I do.
Yeah, that's batching up stuff. I think that's a useful way of like doubling up your time actually. So how about diet though? How do you help people? Is it chicken breast and broccoli for everybody?
Awesome, man. That's a good question. I guess at the end of the day, right? Okay, it depends on where you're at, right? If you're like most people, you probably want to lose that tummy fat, lose that weight, maybe even see your abs. So the main principle is what? Calorie deficit, right? To be in a state of a calorie deficit. Like I said earlier in the podcast or the conversation, is not about just eating less, moving more. Sounds perfect in theory, then bloody difficult for a lot of people to do, right?
Yes.
Right? Because when you are going for a lunch meeting, going to meet a client at, I don't know, some other restaurant, you wouldn't have time to think, oh, is this healthy? Is this part of macros? You probably just order something that's convenient, right? But when it comes to coaching a client, when I educate them, when I share them the reason, share them the thought process of how to choose their foods, eventually it becomes an automated process really. When they go to any kind of restaurant, these are the things that they look out for. So it's kind of like having, 3 options to go for regardless of where you are. So when you are in a stressful environment, when you are in a, wherever you are in the world, whether vacation or not, you more or less know what to gravitate towards. So it becomes part of you. So in terms of nutrition, there isn't a really, I always tell my clients, you don't need to be on a hardcore diet, right? You can just take care of your nutrition and take care of you, right? So I hope that actually answers your question. And of course, there are other things in place as well, like managing their hunger levels before they go for a meal, making sure they're in the right state before they start eating, a lot more.
Right. I like the fact that you've concentrated on systemizing the process, because really, I think this is something that people fall back on when we get busy, when there's stress, when we feel overwhelmed, when we don't know what to do. What saves us is going back to very simple systems. And this is the same for business as well. We have to know that it's not just us. When we scale up businesses, there's going to be dozens of people in our organization as well. And this methodology, this mindset has to permeate through the organization. And this is something that, whatever you're saying, I resonate a lot with, because to the individual, he needs to have that kind of knowledge to create simple systems. Simple is the keyword, because systems, if they are too complex, too advanced, people are not going to follow it. People are going to get confused or even more confused. And I think that's the beauty of systems. And that's what I really like about what you're sharing. And I can definitely see why this is something that people can rely on and get the kind of results that they want. I mean, when I do personal training, it was, I can't remember how much it was, like $100 an hour or something. And only for that hour, right? That means if I go on vacation, like what you say, I don't have access to my personal trainer, or if I move somewhere and I'm no longer at that gym, I no longer have access to the personal trainer. And it's so hard to keep that kind of results unless you internalize and create the systems and really embrace what it takes to bring that transformation. I've seen a lot of people that went through like personal training or went through like great physical growth in terms of their physique or their appearance, and then suddenly just like have everything fade away because it is not sustainable. It's not a lifelong thing. It only happens for a few months or a year, and then after that, it just fades, because fundamentally, I think they haven't built up that kind of resilience, that kind of ability, that kind of knowledge, that kind of fundamentals to keep that for life. Yeah, and I love what you're doing with your business, Preston. Cool. We have to wrap up, but I love what you're saying, and I hope the audience took away golden nuggets from our conversation. For people who want to follow you and find out more about the services that you provide, how best can they reach out to you?
Oh, they can actually reach out to me on Press On Preston, all right, on Instagram or Facebook. They can also check out my website as well. So Press On Preston, PressonPreston.
Sounds good. Press On Preston. All right, I'll have that link in the description also for people. Everyone, thank you so much for listening in to Preston and myself. Hopefully, you've got great takeaways from this. If you like this episode, please remember to like, comment, share, subscribe, so that you'll be notified of any new episodes that come up. Thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate you all, and I'll see you in the next episode.